Hey friends, so I'm back again with a new gadget. This is a Handpresso Pop portable espresso making device. It pulls an espresso shot and has 16 psi pressure. I'll come back to its technicalities and what exactly all these terms means much later. So let's get into the review. So the operation is pretty simple. It has got a manual pump to pump in air. So you first open this pump and start pumping the air. Here a gauge is given, so you have to pump in air till the gauge reaches the green indicator which is given here. Do not cross the green indicator to into the red zone. So once you reach the green indicator, just lock this, turn over, open the lid. Inside you will find this portafilter which holds espresso grind, and it also comes with a ESC espresso pod holder which I'll flash in the screen right now. So ESC espresso pods are ready to go espresso pods. They are less messy. Once this is disassembled, take boiling water, near boiling water. I won't say take completely boiling water which is emanating steam. Take near boiling water and pour in water. Though as you can see it holds around 100 ml, 70 to 100 ml. I won't recommend you to fill it to the brim. Just put almost 30 to 35 ml equivalent to an espresso shot which is 25 to 30 ml. Don't put more water, because if you put more water then it will dilute your shot. Add your favorite espresso grinds, tap it well. Now I'm not a fan of tapping it too tightly, at least not in this machine. I generally tend to keep a little bit of air pockets to let the steam and the water pass through at pressure. So medium to tight tap is fine, but you can play around. After you add the water, just put in the portafilter, or if you have an espresso pod, it's pretty simple, just put in the espresso pod. Close this lid. Once you close this lid, there is a marker which goes towards the close mark. See to it that the marker reaches there, because if the marker is not there, then probably if this is loose, then the moment you start pulling the shot, hot water might spill in and cause you a burns, cause you a scald. So be pretty sure, this is the only flaw of this machine. Be pretty sure, double check that it is completely closed. Turn over the machine, press this. Once you press this, the pressure which is built up pressure is released, the compressor is released, which forces the water down through your coffee grinds to pull a perfect espresso shot. The espresso shot is pretty quality one if you get everything right and come to it in a moment of time. This machine is pretty easy to maintain because there are less parts to clean. You just have to open up the lid and just clean the coffee grounds. If you're using an ESC espresso pod, it's completely maintenance free. Just throw away and use a fresh pod. I personally start my day with espresso. Most times when I go and trek in Highland Himalayas for my work, you require some kind of a kick because you're climbing at heights, and espresso is something that works for me. Not much into instant coffee or the traditional beverage tea, which is a tea husk boiled with milk and sugar, which is pretty common around India if you have traveled a bit. This both I find pretty unhealthy, pretty hazardous to the body. It's pretty difficult to find good quality barista type espresso when you're traveling in remote parts of India, and that was the reason I was on the lookout for such kind of machines. Espresso machines, for those who are interested, come in three types. There are piston machines, there are electric boiler type machines, there are pump machines, and there are nowadays this air pump machines, these manual machines which came around the late 2000s. The first machine which you might have seen if you are interested in espresso, it is a contraption where you have to press and build up pressure, and it takes out a pretty decent coffee. There is an electric version of it also sold, where the contraption is the same, but instead of pumping in there is an electric circuit which does the work for you. I've used both those machines and they have their own flaws. The AirPress kind of a machine, it has got too many removable parts, so if you lose even one part, the machine is as good as dead. Because it has got so many removable parts, maintaining it becomes a mess because you have to wash all those parts and reassemble again. Electric version did not work for me. It may be just that I got a bad lemon. It was compatible with Nespresso capsules if you've used capsule, but it didn't churn out a good espresso. It only churned out a little bit diluted Americano type coffee, and the ground one never worked for me. So eventually I decided to invest in patented stuff. 2007, a French company released this Handpresso. I brought it straight away from their website. There are two versions of this machine. There is a recent version which is all aluminum black body, and there is this pop version. There is a little bit of difference in pricing in both of them. This is more appeals to the youth. I got this at discount along with the bag. It was shipped with a French postal service called Ismo. I had to pay custom duty on it, which were along with the tax amounted to almost 70% of the price. But I've got no complaints about it because this looks like a pretty sturdy machine, pretty well built machine. It is not going to break. It is less maintenance. One thing I definitely try to tell you, which I did not do, is that once you open this, you can see there is a black ring over this, the black rubber ring. It is a gasket, it is a seal which keeps this in place. This you are liable to lose, you are liable to break. Once this breaks, this machine is pretty much useless unless and until you do some kind of a DIY. So if you are buying this machine from the vendors, please tell them to put in 2 or 3 more rings. I did not do it. I'm definitely going to contact them. Apart from that, this is a pretty sturdy build machine. You can just throw it in your backpack. If you're getting the cover with it at a decent price, do use it. It's pretty handy, it's pretty shock proof, so it will just add to your investment. Espresso, as its name suggests, is a coffee which is produced fast within seconds. Espresso coffee traces its origins in Europe when coffee culture became much more prominent there during the late 19th century. Coffee was something which people bonded over, and it became pretty difficult for coffee owners, the coffee shop owners, to serve quick coffee the traditional French press way because it was taking too much of time. An Italian scientist developed a piston machine which could create this kind of a espresso coffee which passed hot steam water at a definitive pressure through fine grounded coffee to give this kind of a concentrated espresso shot which looked good, which looked premium, and which served the purpose. Bar pressure or barometric pressure is the pressure through which the water is pushed down through this finely grounded coffee. A lot of people market the machines showing higher PSI like 15 bar pressure, 20 bar pressure, 21 bar pressure. But if you ask any experts and if you experiment, the sweet spot is 9 bar pressure, 9 to 10 bar pressure. Experts generally say that if you have a machine which outputs 15 bar pressure, then it stabilizes itself to 9 bar pressure. Remember one thing, espresso means how quickly you can get the concentrate. All these things depends upon the type of grind you have. So you should have extremely super fine grinds of coffee. Of course, the beans matter. If you have superior A grade beans, if you have ground them in conical burr grinders which keep the oils intact, the flavors intact, if they have roasted pretty well depending upon your choice, dark roast, medium roast, then with the right amount of pressure you will get the shot. Now coming back to whether it creates a good espresso or not, this kind of a machines definitely require some kind of play around. So as I already said, 9 bar pressure is the sweet spot. So ideally you should have a machine which is minimum 15 bar pressure, because when you pump in pressure and it percolates the water at that pressure, it adjusts itself to 9 bar pressure. Sometimes if the pressure is not right, it is going to take more time, it is going to have a drip effect, and you're going to have a very diluted taste, much like an Americano. So do not fill more than 30 to 35 ml for one shot. Just have near boiling water. Make sure that your grounds are super fine, uniform. You tap them medium to tight. You will pull a wonderful shot, and this machine is pretty quality. I can vouch for it, and I'm looking forward to use it in my upcoming Himalayan trip. I often travel in the Himalayas and remote parts of India to document herbs, traditional practices of yoga, Vedic practices. So I'm always on lookout for gear which is budget, which doesn't put much burden on my pocket, which is multifunctional, which is sturdy, which is quality, and which will add to my hiking, trekking, and camping experiences. So I made a playlist called Must Have Hiking, Camping, and Travel Gear, where I've reviewed certain gadgets which would make your hiking experience, traveling experience much more easier. So do check it out. Apart from that, I also review gadgets which add to my health. So I made another playlist called Must Have Health Gear, which if you are interested, you check out and add to your and your family's health. If you find my videos, my content useful, do subscribe to my channel. It helps me make more content with quality. Thank you for watching.